Welcome to Come Get Some. I'm your host, Blake Williams, here in the Big Play Studios at Burke Lakefront Airport. Beautiful summer day up here in Cleveland. And joined in person again, now that it's his off season, Mr. Come Get Some himself, Gregg Williams, who, by the way, fans out there across the country, is 1 year older today because it's G-Dub's birthday. Happy birthday, G-Dub.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yep. Hey, it's nice to have you back in town.
Hey, it's great to be back in town. This is one of my favorite towns that you had to suffer and move all over the country with me, and I'm glad that you made this your home.
Yep, no doubt about it. And we'll go get a little birthday. We'll try to put a sombrero on you at the Mexican restaurant after the show and sing happy birthday. So, Feliz cumpleaños, Ati.
Yeah, Mayas. I love Mayas. Yeah.
But happy birthday and thanks for being back up here, G-Dub. We're excited. We've got an awesome new season of the Come Get Some show for you guys this year. We're kicking it off today with an awesome, exciting guest, surefire Hall of Famer, one of the greatest defensive players to ever play this game, one of our favorite players that we've ever coached and been blessed enough to coach.
Yep.
And Aaron Donald will be joining us virtually from LA here in a little bit later on, so can't wait to get him on and talk about that old stories. And hey, I know we were at at Firestone. We'll talk more about that later. But we were at Firestone this past week doing the Senior PGA Tour, G-Dub. But did you know out on the Pro-Am, Jerry Rice, who's the ultimate competitor, is apparently a fan of the Come Get Some show. Did you hear that? Here, listen.
I
to
heard
this.
that. Yes.
If you want some, come get some.
Hey, he said, if you want some, come get some.
And he's had to listen to me yell that at him on the sideline, coaching and all that kind of stuff. So I love it that he said that.
And that was like the PG of what he said. That was after he had already walked away from the reporter who was just apparently asking him.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with Jerry now. I'm telling you.
He was apparently the reporter was just asking him if it was if the Chiefs wide receivers were good enough to win another Super Bowl, and apparently that's what it was said. And
he got hot because of beating the 49ers, and he's a part of the 49ers history and legacy, and so he got hot and said, "Come get some."
Yeah. I no doubt. And it sounded like when you and I and Dave McAllister, Big Play Dave, and Refrog, Chris McNeil, and everybody were playing out at Firestone this past week, and you and I are getting into it.
Yep, it sounded just like those days. Yes, and I play better when we get into it.
Hey, same.
Yeah.
Same. I got to do something because I to break 100. But hey, stick right with us. We've got an awesome guest. We've got an awesome show ahead of you. Aaron Donald. Then we'll be talking around the NFL, around the sports world in general, and some of the awesome, exciting events that are coming up with Big Play Media that we'll be putting on here. Welcome into Come Get Some. I'm your host, Blake Williams, here with Mr. Come Get Some himself, Gregg Williams. And as we kick off our second season of the Come Get Some show, we are joined by one of the ultimate Come Get Some competitors you were able to ever coach and lucky enough to ever coach. One of the greatest defensive players our league has ever seen. New retiree, Aaron Donald. AD, my man, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Where are you at, my man? Where are you joining us from?
I'm back in Pittsburgh right now for this week, so I'm in Pittsburgh, back at home.
Okay,
hometown.
So you're just right down the road from us. We're right here at the little private airport, here on right next door to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Cleveland Browns Stadium, where our TV studios are. And so, what are you doing in Pittsburgh?
I'm just handling some business this week. Doing what I need to do here. We just got our development company officially got our first project approved July 11th.
That's great.
38 units, community center. So I'm handling some things with that and then flying back to California Friday. So
that's great.
That's awesome, man. Congrats on that. Real estate mogul. So anything you can't do, play defensive end, play three technique, get drop into coverage on spider checks, right?
We did that. I used to hate that a lot.
I know. He used to get on me when I would I'd spider check, and I'd be wasting his pass rush.
I used to say the same thing. I was like, drop the edge or drop the nose or whatever. Drop the other dude.
I had to start flopping with Brock. So Brock
And because of you, I ended up coming up with, the widow check, and the widow check was the defensive end dropping, so I never had to drop you, so I could keep you flat going after the quarterback.
For the fans that are wondering what we're talking about, is we talked last week at the golf course, and we talked about Monty Kiffin and Monty Kiffin's passing, and the founder of the Tampa 2 defense. But when offenses would go 5 wides, all wides, and we'd be playing Tampa 2, we got an issue covering the 5 routes. We don't have enough people in the under coverage, and so in G-Dub's system, we would check spider and drop the nearest defensive tackle to that side out. And I think when a certain offenses would realize that, and they're like, oh wait, we're going to put the 3-man side to Aaron Donald's side, to AD's side, make him spider check out, and we were like, all right, this isn't very smart, dropping him into coverage just to keep. They're trying to get that, so he's. And I wish
you would have mic'd him a couple of times when he's bitching and yelling and complaining how stupid I am because I'm dropping him into coverage.
Hey,
I was mad.
Hey, sure. Tell us what you were thinking. Tell us what you were thinking, AD.
I can't say it on here, but we had some conversation. I come to his office a few times, man, and had some talks about that. So
yeah, we had some serious talks.
So you drafted me, you paid me to rush the passer and whatnot, and we'd been watching you do it since all the way back in the Virginia Tech days.
Yep.
And so I'm sure you obviously AD, but so my baby brother was the captain and middle linebacker at Virginia Tech, and so we had to watch that fiasco of them trying to figure out how to block you for every single. Your senior year was actually G-Dubs and our bye week, and so we were in Virginia Tech was playing you that game, and you gave Logan Thomas everything and that whole thing.
That was a good game for me too. See, I came to a good game.
You did, and I got Frank Beamer and Bud Foster to let me stand down on the sideline so I could actually feel and witness your ass whooping that you gave everybody that particular game. Now, I don't think you won the game, but at least you won your battles.
Yeah, you're right. We lost that one, but I did. I tried to do my part. That's all I can say.
And the year before, I came to Pittsburgh on the bye week to watch my son play, and you played up there, and I'm telling you, just flat got after him again. And I laugh about this all the time, and Blake was the number one person that pushed me and pushed my buttons to make sure I did all my work on you. Yeah. And then, once I got a chance to be on the field and actually do that, I had to come back and tell Blake, I guess you were right and I was wrong. The guy can flat play. And then on draft day, I had to drop everything I could, and I had some big-time F-bombs in the draft room because they weren't going to draft your little short ass, okay? They were not going to do that, and so I had to threaten them with a press conference, and now it's all of their ideas. They all said they were the ones that drafted you, and it wasn't dumb Gregg Williams that had anything to do with it.
You made it happen, man.
Yeah.
You made it happen. We was there, got me started, man. Love playing with you, obviously. Brought the excitement, brought passion. Believe me, you got on my ass in them meetings too.
I did. I had to make
jump
sure.
Out them gaps, you better make the play. That's what.
that's where you learned it.
The whole defense, you short this, you short that. If you jump out your gap, you better make the play.
You better make the play. And you know what? He would come up with some of his own inventive ways to play the technique, and I would blister him. And 9 times out of 10, he was right. Okay, what he did.
He knows they're trying to come reach him. He's just running his own vertical spike. Only dude, I mean, real talk. And I want to talk to you a little bit about this, but because I've coached been offensive line coach when we won the Super Bowl, coached defensive line, been defense coordinator, coach every position. But probably the only dude that I've ever seen that was able to come straight up out of their stance in vertical pass rush on the front side of outside zone and just say, F it, I don't care because I'm playing space. And
Yes.
it's almost like, hey, it's no different than the slide beam to me. And like you overextend and I'm just going to club rip by you and I'm going to go still take the handoff. Like, what were you feeling and seeing when you would do that?
So that's the way I've been playing since my whole career, from high school to college to the pros. It's more like, I understand if you play the B gap, you're supposed to play the B gap, but it don't make sense for me if a guy's trying to reach me and he overset heavy. Well, I'm gonna let the guy block me and try to keep my body in the B gap. I'm gonna just let him run past, excuse me, and be back right there to make the play in the backfield. So it's just more, you get a feel for the game, and then I've obviously as you grow, you study film, you understand tendencies, you start to learn the game, and you start to learn when you can take your chances and when you cannot take your chances. So just becoming a student in the game, obviously getting a feel for it, and on top of, that's just the way I play, just jumping around, trying to make stuff happen. So
that's awesome. And that actually leads us into AD. And so we kind of teased that, hey, we were going to have somebody on the show today. And so trying to have our fans, of our show guess, and one of our fans that guessed correctly, Texans Kool-Aid is his handle. But he wanted to ask you a question. So he won the chance to ask you a question. That leads us into that segue. And generally what he was talking about is that how you would essentially, you dominated from every spot on the line. You could dominate from the 0 on out to the 9, and you played everything in between from a 0 on out to a 9 in your time, and won everywhere. And so how would you adjust your pass rush techniques, to your alignment, and kind of what was your favorite, alignment to play? And what were and how would you adjust your pass rush moves to certain of the best, the different players that you would play against?
Yeah, well, I'm a guy. I feel like I was born and invented to play 3-tech. I'm a 3-tech. Obviously, that's where I'm the most comfortable at. But obviously, I got a lot of playing time at the nose, at the 0 time. Greg put me at that 0 a lot to try to get the one-on-ones on the center.
Bear, yep. Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get the one-on-ones because center's really not good with one. I feel like center's more of them help guys. Yep. They help with them slide protection, but you get them on an open field, you get an open one-on-one with them. You should be able to dominate a center all day. Obviously, playing out the outside, it's a different world, but it's still the same thing. You just got a lot more space to work. So for me, I just feel like if you don't got no outside guy, no chip or nothing, you should get all that space out there, and you got one guy to beat. You might get a slab, but you can still beat him on the edge. I'm just comfortable all the way around. I always tell people, I understand the 0 to 1, the 2 to 3, the 5 to 6. It's you start from inside to outside, but for me, D-line play is D-line play. It's all the same to me. So.
Well, let me piggyback.
And you have that fast twitch, and you can play all those things, okay? And your fast twitch, okay, and people don't realize, okay, great 40-yard dash, all that kind of stuff, but your instant twitch, getting off the ball and how powerful you were was fantastic. But I'm also going to throw one more thing out there. You didn't have to worry about getting beat with lower pad level because you were shorter than everybody else you played against.
And that helped a lot, though. If people always say, I feel like
it does help.
Being 6'1" D tackle playing against a guy that's 6'5", 6'4", that's a lot for a guy. Then you got the strength to hold 600 pounds. You got the quickness, the split a double team. You got the technique to work different moves, to work the edge. So you keep offensive linemen guessing to the point when they watch film, they see you do everything. They see you do power. They see you use your quickness. They see the technique with the chop club, the swipe. So you keep a guy guessing, then you throw some quickness in there, make him worry a little bit, get him on his heels. So you just got to play the game with the guy. So
hey, amen to that. Amen to that. Well, hey, stick right with us because when we get back from these messages, Aaron's going to join us again, and we're going to talk retirement and some of his favorite stories from back in his Rams days. Welcome back into Come Get Some. I'm your host, Blake Williams, and we're joined by Aaron Donald again here right now. And so, AD, one of the things I think I know we wanted to talk to you about today and kind of get your feel on is hey, how's retirement going for you right now? And two, why did you kind of feel now was the time to do it?
Retirement feel great. I'm at peace with everything. Obviously, ain't no second guessing. I'm at this point right now where I'm not missing it. Right now I feel good because July you get ready for camp around the 24th. I feel good. I ain't got to worry about having to go to no camps or none of that. So I'm at peace with everything, man. And obviously, I felt like I gave the game everything I had, man. Obviously, the way I train all year round, I really don't give myself really a break. Season was over. I probably give myself a week off, if that, and right back in the weight room working with my trainer. So for me, it was always all year round, a lot of grind, a lot of stuff you put into the game, man. And then I've been blessed to, play 10 years, accomplish everything I, wanted to accomplish and much more, from team success to individual success, man. I felt every high, every low. I got the experience as a defensive player, everything you can experience from the game of football. Was blessed to, create the financial stability that I was able to do from just putting the body at work and going to go get it and earn it. So I'm able to leave on my terms, at peace with everything, no second guessing. Leave, I'll say, kind of leave still on top. A lot of people saying, why would you look, you still got a lot in the tank, but for me, I just don't got the passion to play the game no more, to think about having to train all year round, have to think about going through camp, think about playing 17 games plus playoffs and all that. I just don't have the passion and the urge to want to do that no more. And I feel like it's a disservice for me to, just trying to go back for money and try to just get by and half-ass, because the game been too good for me and did too much great things for me to start slacking down at the end. So, I gave it everything I got. And once my feelings came to this point where I felt like I didn't have the passion to play the game no more, it was just time for me to walk away. So.
And I want everybody to hear this, and maybe in your life and so far, 'cause I look at you like another son, that I have right now, is that people have no idea how committed you were to be the best you could be each and every day, not season, not year, not this month, every single day. That's why you are as good as you are. I've not had very many people that even come close to working as hard as you work at your profession. And you did a fantastic job with that and made a lot of your teammates better because of how hard you worked and how good you were, at your position. And I just want to let you know right now, there's sometimes I do say nice things, and this is one of the times I say something nice.
I love you too, Greg.
All right.
Yeah, see, he knows, like you said, like all your sons. I know exactly what that means. That's the long, extended, surly way of saying I love you and I appreciate you. You just say I love you too, Greg.
I know.
But I do want to piggyback on that as well too, and I think that's what we all always appreciated as coaches from you, and I think that's what your teammates and your opponents appreciated from you as well too. Is no doubt, like, you are a very rare, and the NFL's the rarest of the rare, right, that ever played football. But then there's a few that are just even different, right? Like we always talk about, there's not a lot of people that you have to. You heard G-Dub say that there's not very many people that we got to go put two of ours on them, and at times they'd be putting 3 or 4
on
of
him.
Theirs on
He
you,
made the
right?
defensive ends
Yeah.
better because
Yep.
he was always getting double or triple teamed inside.
But that's, I think, the truly transcendent great talents, and that's what we appreciate about you are the ones that have that freakish talent, but then they outwork everyone as well too.
Everybody.
I mean, from the minute you walked in the door, screwing up Coach Woff's meeting computer in the morning, him being pissed off coming in, and Woff, he's pissed because he's particular and his stuff's messed up. 2, he's pissed because you beat him in, the old Marine as he is. He's like, hey, this rook's beating me into the office and messing up all my screens, doing all of his own, film study from the time he walked in. And like, people don't understand, like, that's what it takes to be truly great. Like when you talk about the Kobe's and the MJs and the LeBrons,
The
right?
work you do when
And,
nobody else can see you doing
the
it.
Tom Brady's, right?
My dad told me that all my life. It's what you're doing when nobody's watching.
That's right.
Because everybody can do the extra rep when the coach is around, when somebody's telling you to do it, but it make you a different person when you put that extra work in because you want to do it. When nobody's watching, nobody's telling you to do it, but you choosing to get up to do that extra set.
Yep.
You choosing to get up and watch that extra film. Even if you have success, I just never allow myself to be satisfied, because you can have one good year and then it's a new year. I feel like I can't live off what I did last year. I got to do something this year. So I feel like I always had to prove myself every single year, man. And that's just the way I went about it. I think, obviously having the family I had, the parents that raised me the way I did, the work ethic my dad instilled into me at a young age, just grew to what it was, man. And, hard work pays off. I live by it and still doing it to this day. So, just been blessed, from the things I was able to accomplish from just putting the body working. So
good is good, but great takes more. If you want to be great, again, it's all the work that nobody else sees you doing, okay? Nobody else sees you doing, and you're one of the best I was able to be around for those type of things.
Yes, sir.
And the chase is obviously, as we know, is like it's for these, right? We've got our Super Bowl rings on. Remember, we got the old AD, pointing that I finally got one of my own.
Were you pointing at me, or who were you pointing at when you're doing that?
Because you got to think, man. I always heard stories. Gregg always told stories about the Super Bowl. Wolf always told stories about. So you always like the experience of winning a Super Bowl. You really, it's hard to put winning a Super Bowl into words. You got to be there. You got to feel the confetti falling. You got to feel the excitement of it, being the last team standing, man. And I was chasing it so long, man, and I wanted it so bad. And when you accomplish that, and it's like mission complete. You work so hard and you got to feel that, and everything that came with winning a Super Bowl, man. It was like, it's like a dream come true. And
not only that, but you made the play that won the game. That is even more special.
Yeah, you couldn't write it no better than that, man. I feel like that was like a storybook type ending. So,
how much do you think that played into this? Like you being at peace at this point, do you think if it didn't work out that way, or you were still chasing that championship, that you'd still be doing it, or did that play into the being in the peace at this moment?
So I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. So I was a guy that came into the league early, and I always said to like my family and a few friends that I was gonna do 8 years and be done. Right?
What you told me, I know.
I just happened to win a Super Bowl my 8th year. So I'm like, that's why I keep saying this was destiny. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm cool. I got from individual success, I accomplished that. From all the team success, I accomplished that. Now I got a Super Bowl ring. The last thing I was chasing and so hungry to get, I said, I can finally leave this game at peace. But winning a Super Bowl, it's hard to walk away from that. It's like a drug. You just can't turn your back on after winning that and to get to experience that and being one of the guys that was like a key to helping that, get to that point and accomplish that. So, I was at peace with everything, but I had to try to come back just to try to find a way to relay it out again. And I tried, but, obviously didn't accomplish it, but still felt like, did everything I wanted to do and more. So I was able to walk away from the game, on my terms. So
well, amen to that, my man, and enjoy your peace. You changed the game for the better, taught a whole nother generation of coaches as well as players and GMs like what is possible. I mean, you're a transcendent talent that changed the way even like GMs and ownerships went about like what they're looking for in the draft and how they're trying to roster create, man. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate you joining us and spending some of your time with us today. Good luck in retirement, my man, and keep come get something. We appreciate you.
Good luck.
Stick right with us, because when we get back, we're going to go around the NFL. Welcome back into Come Get Some, and this is our Around the NFL segment. All right, we just talked to one of the NFL greats, and Aaron Donald. But these speaking of greats, and speaking of other people or places we've coached before, if you see the some of the drama that's going on around at the Jets and the Raiders and so therefore Devontae Adams and whatnot. Did you see like what Boomer Esiason was talking about out there today? And I know there's been a lot of stuff out there, right?
Yeah.
And so and Boomer was talking about behind the scenes, what he's hearing is this is going to happen.
Yep.
They're gonna have to figure out how it's going to happen, but apparently, like, it'd be a $40 million dead cap hit, for the Raiders now. But if it happened in August or September, it sounds like when it would actually happen, it'd be a $25 million cap hit. And did you see Aaron Rodgers at the Pro-Am?
I did.
What he
see
said?
Him. I did see him at the Pro-Am.
Did you see what he said again?
Yes.
Right. So that stirred up all the stuff where he said, "Yeah, I love Devontae, and I can't wait to play with him again." And so that's
Are you talking
that's going to
about
be
Aaron
interesting.
Rodgers, the assistant general manager?
He's the head general manager.
Oh, I got you.
He's apparently the head general manager / roster builder / he's like the Paul. I don't know.
I can't wait till I see him again.
He's the depossessor, I guess, at the Jets right now, right? Making the decisions. But that would be one of those ones, though, too, G-Dub, that it would work. I mean, if
it would work.
If it was, I'm saying if it was August or September.
Yes.
Say it wasn't even until
Yes.
week 1, week 2, something like that they did it, because the offense is the offense that they
Right.
know and have played in.
They
right?
play together, and the defense there at the Jets can flat go and play. They need to put some points on the board, and you're going to see how much more productive that the Jets defense will be when they're playing with points and they're playing ahead in the score. So yes, there's no doubt about that.
Amen. And it's a closing, and you make that point, like it's a closing window.
Yes.
Right. You've seen all this stuff out there, and PFF's what it is, but like the PFF and the other people out there rating them like, hey, in the entire NFL, like the number 1 linebacker core, Jets, number 1 D line. Hey, Jets.
Number one
D secondary, Jets,
I
right?
know.
And if you argue about that in the entire NFL, well, then at least in the AFC, right?
And then Brant Boyer and the special teams, they're daggone good.
They're number 1 in
too.
special teams. And so you got Breece Hall, you got those receivers even without Devontae Adams. And one thing they really haven't done, though, is leverage for the future. They haven't done like what the Rams did, right? And they haven't done some of those things. And so at some point in time, they probably got to, the window's closing, and they got to, on Aaron Rodgers and the rest of those players on that team, and they gotta make a move, But it'll be interesting to see. Have you seen like the Netflix series where a lot of this stuff's coming out? Where Devontae was like, I gotta get out of here. I get killed, and so there's that new Netflix. They had the quarterback show.
Yep.
And then now they have the receivers show. Right.
And he was complaining about being, run into coverage and having to run through coverage and get passes thrown that was making it dangerous for him. And guess what? Welcome to the world.
Maybe we should do a Netflix defensive coordinator show.
That would be fine with me. You think they'd have any type of a bleep button?
Oh, it'd be on Netflix or something. It would definitely have to be like whatever, like NR, like not rated or
just don't rate it and let's go. I think it would be highly watched.
Yeah, it'd be watched. Hard knocks on steroids.
That would be good.
Oh shit, I got a lozenge.
I got throat lozenges. That's right. When I don't lose my voice, I got it.
And a lot of, it's this time of the year, right? This time of the year that we're talking about, like, it's usually this type of things, like what's going on off the field stuff, right? Because it's this lull, right? And so we always used to lecture the players, right? That
when
like
I broke the final mini camp meeting, I talk about that.
Tell the fans like what basically your final mini camp meeting
final
lecture
mini camp meeting would be. Guess what? If you cannot go away from this office building, these practice fields, and keep your posture, keep your authority, be accountable, then you're going to have a hard time making this team, because I'm not going to put up with it, because you're the same guy inside the white lines when it counts the most that we can't trust. Okay? Be right, do right, and I'll see you when you get back, and you're going to have some individual time with me, and you're not going to like that.
And be careful when you've got the extra time off, and the extra time off and blow off the extra steam. And so moral stories, we saw the DUI with Viking star, Jordan Addison, and a couple of those, and it happens every year around this time, right? Like something involving alcohol, arrest, stuff like that with players and whatnot.
Too much time on their hands.
Too much time on their hands. It seems like you're probably have a different opinion on that than Mike Gundy, right? you wouldn't be up there at the press conference saying, "Hell,
I wonder if Mike and I go way back too.
I had 6 margaritas and drove home for my birthday dinner at Maya and Berea too.
I wonder if he wishes he would have not made the joke the way it is, because it's gone viral, and he was joking around and all that kind of stuff. But
teachable moments to career coaches as well too.
Teachable moments, and I've had some of those same teachable moments myself.
And then also, what we've had, a lot of here recently, and you kind of unfortunately always do. It's life. We always talk about NFL, and life in the NFL is like a microcosm of life, right? You know, and so in that you have loss, you have heartbreak, you have people leave, and you have deaths, and so we've had three major ones here in the NFL over the past week or so with Kyrie Jackson, the rookie with so much talent from Oregon, played for our guy Dan Lanning up there that had the terrible accident, and Monty Kiffin, right, the legendary Monty Kiffin, and we talked out last week and out at the golf course about the Tampa 2 and how much he even influenced on our
he and I were very,
defense.
very close in life, and the ways that I migrated and the defensive system that I have developed throughout all these years, has a very base support of Monty Kiffin, and as we talked about before, Buddy Ryan, and Dick LeBeau.
Right, no doubt. And then the one that came out yesterday or whatever which was I still haven't heard anything about what had happened. Not that it matters, but like what exactly had happened. But the surprise one on Jacoby Jones, who's the same age as me, right? I mean, he's just 3 days past his 40th birthday, and the surprise death of him. And so, hey, feeling for our brethren in the AFC North, right, and Baltimore family and the Jones family. And what about switching to the Browns? And we've seen a lot of this lately, and you and I know because we saw him, right?
I know who you're going to talk about now.
Have you seen the newest video of Nick Chubb training out here lately?
And he had on that bendable bar,
the elephant bar, right, which makes it harder.
Oh my God!
So you can do less weight, which is laughable as you're watching him do whatever it is, 6 plates over 540,
545 or something like that.
And the elephant bar is meant to make you have to stabilize and have to do way more of this stuff.
Fight your balance and everything, and you're hitting every fiber of strength and balance and control when you do it that way. And it was absolutely amazing when I saw that on video today.
Right, he is an unbelievable freak. And when we were in here at Burke Studios last year, when he blew out his knee, and we said, "Oh my God, like that may be his last carry." Right. But then we said, if anybody is going to come back and do it, it's going to be him, who's already done the exact same injury previously to the same knee. And we're seeing again that hey, whatever's in Nick Chubb's blood, I want to inject. I want some of that. I want to inject that, into my veins, But so hopefully he can get back, and get back going for the Browns here recently, or here soon, and way earlier than November, and it's looking like he may be able to do it.
It looks like it.
Yep. But hey, stick right with us, because when we get back, we're going to look at around the rest of the sports world and everything that's going viral. Welcome back into Come Get Some. I'm your host, Blake Williams, here with Mr. Come Get Some himself, Gregg Williams. And this is our Around the Sports World segment. And going back, obviously we were out at Firestone last week. I've got my colleague company's championship shirt that they gave us out there when we were playing, and our boy, our great friend Steve Strickler, ended up not making it a dynasty three times in 4 years, but Ernie Els had to come from behind, win, and so it was great for Ernie and everything.
It was great.
Out there.
It was a great match, the whole thing. I was pulling for Steve the whole way, but I'm glad Ernie got a chance to do that and get on the winner's board. And he goes way back to that thing back up when I was a head coach of the Bills too. He was hanging around practice a bunch back in those days. I know it was an awesome event to see and be out there. And actually, I don't know if you saw this, but we caught at the separate thing, the Pro Live, the Pro-Am, where we've seen the Jerry Rice stuff, Baker Mayfield doing freaking shotgun and beers, and Josh Allen draining chips and long 3-pointers. But we caught
we caught Charles Barkley, Chuck, doing his best Gregg Williams impersonation.
Oh my God! Don't even think that that's like my swing. But I can't believe there wasn't a big hesitation with him almost falling down. But I do believe that he must have been winded because he didn't say enough cuss words on how bad that swing was.
Right, that sounded exactly like you every time you chunk it.
Anytime I chunk it, I say some bad stuff too. I do, and that's why when he and I play together, there's not a lot of people around.
Well, and it's funny though as well too, because his standard has risen, right? Like the joke was forever.
Yes.
I mean, you remember like how amazingly like he's improved.
He has improved a ton.
It was like just it hurt you. You thought he was gonna have to get like his his hip replaced, his shoulder replaced when you watched his swing for years. It was this big joke, and then all of a sudden he came out and he's improved it. Now his standards up, right? And so
evidently he's blaming it on being fat. So we'll see if he loses some weight.
he was hearing what Shaq would be saying to him, and from in his earpiece.
And you know that I went down and did that big deal, that big camp with Shaq down in Atlanta, and the first thing I asked him when he asked me to come down and help, I said, "Is Charles going to be there too?" He said, "No, he won't be there." And I said, "I'll be there then. No big deal."
Were you afraid of Charles?
No, I did not want all the kids to hear all those bad words from Charles and I.
Say, speaking of golf, speaking of big play, speaking of trash talking competition, I don't know if you knew this or not, if you heard, but we've got our first annual big play charity tournament that's coming up here at the end of August. I believe like August 31st. We're going to be putting out more information about this on our socials, on our shows, but it's going to be a big time event. We need to have it, be raucous and fun, and every bit of get some and big play.
And we'll have to have an allergy disclosure if you hear words that cause you to have an allergic reaction, because there'll probably be some bad words at that golf tournament.
Hey. That means there's some bad shots and some good shots.
Shots.
It's either way. It's either way. Hey, it was a big night last night for Cleveland as well too. Just we say around the sports world, but even here in Cleveland, as the Guardians got their first ever number 1 overall pick, all right, and took Travis Banzana, the great second baseman and outfielder and power hitter from Oregon State. Did you see that?
I did see that. I was very happy with that pick. And again, another kid out there on the West Coast coming here to Cleveland to get ready to show off and be good.
Well, he's from like the what you call it, the Gold Coast, right?
Gold Coast. Right.
He's an Australian.
That's right.
He's an Australian. So to him, he came east. He came east to come to Oregon State, and now he's coming even more east. And it'll be interesting to see what he thinks of Cleveland. A little bit different from Australia, and a little bit different from Oregon State, but we're excited to have him. I said out there, because you hear it every day, right? Like my 4-year-old son Tristan's favorite movie is Minions, and I got to hear it. I got to hear it a million times a day. Him go like bananas, and I was like, oh my! Hey, when we take him to the Guardians games, that's going to be his favorite.
Bananas.
That's going to be his favorite player. That's what he's going to be running around saying. He's a little t-ball player, and so he's going to be thinking he's Banzana.
That'd be great.
But I'm excited to see him get up here and do big things for the Guardians, who are having a heck of a year. That's what's so different about basketball and baseball, right? Where you can have a year like the Guardians are having right now and still have the number 1 overall pick. I mean, you could have that in football, right? Because some poverty franchise trades their number 1 overall pick to a great team, and they win but still have the other team's number 1 overall pick. But you just don't see that as often in football, that a team that's had a great year or great years has that. What about have you been working on your gaming skills? Have you been working on your gaming skills? I
haven't played any of those games in my life, so no, I haven't.
But you've seen all the hype around it's been a decade in the making. The NCAA 25 release.
Oh yeah.
In part, like that was the precursors of NIL, right? I mean, they killed that popular NCAA game back after the 2014 release because college players were saying, I need my take. I need my cut. And they killed it. And that's when you knew it was just a matter of time before the antitrust got involved. The NIL got passed. And now since it's got passed, they finally got this worked out.
Now they got it worked out, and here it comes.
But I've seen I've talked to EA. Actually, we're going to I don't even know if you realize this or not, we're going to be live streaming. So you're going to be up here trying to learn how to play. We're going to be live streaming from Burke Lakefront Big Play Studios. Maybe you, me, Cribs, the gang, and playing the new game tomorrow night.
You got
up
to
here.
push buttons and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Does it have damage control when you're pushing the buttons and everything?
Oh, I don't know. Speaking of damage control, like you see,
Oh.
Travis Hunter and Shooter Sanders were playing it and live streaming it,
Yep.
and Shooter was scrambling around kind of like he does, and the offense line's not blocking kind of like they did. And he got sacked, and somebody on the live stream was like, "Is this reality? They're blocking like reality." And Travis Hunter, the great receiver out of Colorado, was like, "Yeah, this is reality. They can't block." Shit, they can't block anybody, and like kind of throwing his own offensive line under the bus. And you see that?
Yeah, I did not see that. No, I didn't. But I hope those offensive linemen have a meeting with him in the locker room and make sure he understands that when he says stuff like that, how it affects the team, and when the officials aren't in the locker room, they can go ahead and treat him the way they want to.
Yeah, they try to do damage control, as you just said, by saying, "No, we were talking about the offensive line from last year. Those guys from last year,
Right.
Not this year." But that's what happens when you have live streaming and social media and all of that stuff and whatnot. And it's one of those crazy things. Did you see? How about like this? Did you see the Copa America like stuff? You know what I mean? On the
crazy,
on
scary,
the thing?
crazy, and it's still coming out more and more, still coming out on how they stormed the field. And you know what? The number one thing it reminded me of
What?
is when I got a chance to coach in the very first game ever in Mexico City, and that happened in that game where they were saying there was 125,000, but there's really over 160,000 people because they
look
stormed
at
the
this.
gates and all that kind of stuff and got into that NFL preseason game, and we played the Cowboys down there, and I was at the Houston Oilers.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, people had $2,000 tickets
Unbelievable.
that they had paid for, and they weren't allowed in. They weren't they wouldn't let them in because or they would get to their seats and
100 people
are already there, just unbelievable. And all day long now today, the Hard Rock, they've been doing kind of damage assessment and seeing how much money the damage has caused.
Oh.
It was one of those scary things. I was worried about like something was going to collapse last night. Like that's what we were going to hear and see. The stadium wasn't built for it.
And hopefully we haven't heard anything about people injuries and all that kind of stuff.
There was kids separated from their parents all over the place. I mean, I was watching this viral all night last night, and so I mean, hopefully they get that figured out before so it never happens again in any events over here, but especially before we have the World Cup over here, we're supposed to have as well too.
SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, no doubt. And so like we don't need that stuff. But hey, stick right with us because when we get back, we're gonna have our closing segment. Welcome back into Come Get Some, and this is our 2-minute drill closing segment. And I know this is a levity kind of sports, talk TV show, a national TV show, but we were remiss not to talk about the Trump shooting. Remember, and you walked in the other day from out running some errands this weekend, and the kids were at the pool, and I was like, hey, I mean, you see what just happened, and it's crazy. Right, wrong, or indifferent, like whoever wins, I mean, like we got to get this stuff figured out, right? It's become
control.
It's become out of control for too many years now, and I mean, and you in like your youth, live through this, right? With the Kennedys,
right?
And even in my youth, like the Reagan and stuff like that, and like we can't have that. We got to be better than that. But did you see the announcement out here now today about he finally President in the running, President Trump, chose who his vice president's going to be, and it's our Ohio senator here, J.D. Vance.
Yep.
And so that's it was big.
He's
for
your age,
yeah,
too.
big for Ohioans, and it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out with all of that stuff.
He has a military background.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
Financial background,
Yep.
military background, kind of bootstrap. Pulled him up somebody from his
Yep.
own bootstraps law. And after you saw as well too, like switching gears, we sold out for the fans and viewers that don't know. We sold out our big play horse like that, like really quick. And that's a testament to you viewers. On just your support of us and the excitement around Ken Miles and winning the Preakness this past year, and hoping we can be a part of having a big play horse win the Kentucky Derby next year.
That'd be
hopefully,
great.
and maybe we'll be celebrating that at the second annual big play golf tournament. But
That'd
hey,
be great.
we had Jerry Rice intro us. Let's have Jerry Rice outro us again.
If you want some, come get some.
If you want some, come get some, G-Dub.
Come get some,
Send us
Jerry.
out like you do, G-Dub.
All right, Jerry, I hope you're watching this. Ready, break? Come get some if you want some.